Hello to all you beautiful people. It's been a long time. I'm sitting here under my beloved golden shower tree, which was a gift from my daughter 4 years ago, and look how it has grown. You might hear some bird song, the screeching of the cockatoos, and in the company of bumblebees, at least 3 here, because they somehow took to the golden shower tree, which is flowering now, and there are some bees and there are some bumblebees. I would like to see if you could maybe hear their sound, because it's got this deep kind of humming sound, like a bumblebee. How beautiful. One of the bumblebees came right to my head and was humming around my head, and it was just lovely. So this time of Christmas approaching, the fourth Advent just around the corner, I was actually pondering on aloneness. Some time ago I've written a little story about aloneness and how I have experienced it. When we speak about aloneness, to me it is pretty much feeling alone among humanity. A little bit like an emigrant from somewhere, an immigrant not to Australia but to humanity. Somehow the older I get, the less I understand. Yet when I come out to my four-legged beings, fellow earthlings, four-legged, two-legged, winged ones, you name it, even insects, I feel at home. I feel one with them. The heavy breathing you hear, maybe you can hear it, is Bella, who is just sitting here with me. My dog, our dog, the dog, my fellow creature. And I'm just curious to hear what aloneness is to you. Where do you feel most alone? Where can you relate and where can't you relate? So that would be something that would interest me. You can feel alone amongst, in the middle of a city, for example, in the crowd of people, and you can still feel alone. You can feel alone when you feel that like nobody can relate to you and you can't relate to anybody. You can feel alone when you communicate something and it might be misunderstood, even though you weigh your words carefully. I think we all have a different, but this is pretty much all I want to say. Wishing you all a blessed Christmas, all the best for the new year, and please leave your comments if there is anything you would like to share or you would like to add to my little writing here. God bless you all, and all the very best. Aloneness. Actually, this story begins with the sentence written by a friend who lives on the other side of the globe, and we discussed what aloneness means to us. So he says, I recall being in inner places, so isolated that nothing existed, not even myself. Just came to mind, isn't that nirvana, the non-existence of the self? I know next to nothing about Buddhism, but isn't that the ultimate aim? Being attached to nothing and no one, not even to the self. Ultimate freedom? This is of course a grossly oversimplified view of a probably very complex philosophy, completely opposite to the Western strive to get in touch with the self. But really, when you were in those inner places where the emptiness is a dissonant hum scouring the walls of your cavern, did you feel any hint of inner peace? Or was it just utterly horrifying? Or perhaps of both? I imagine that cavern being like a cave, a limestone cave. Have you ever been to one? It is a kingdom within itself. You walk through narrow passages, acutely aware of the chasms lurking in the darkness just beyond the reach of your light, of the 30 meters of solid rock above you. And then you get there, an underground amphitheater. The temperature is a steady 8 degrees Celsius. The lights come on, and your eardrums suddenly reverberate with the awesome tunes of the Devil's Trill played by Vanessa Mae. Your eyes feast on the timeless artworks of nature, the awesome stalactites and stalagmites, statues formed drop by drop, 1 cubic millimeter every 10 years, the personification of absolute patience. To me this was ultimate beauty, history concealed in Gaia's womb. And then the lights went off, nothing but darkness and a memory of the reality, the beauty around you concealed from your senses, the last tunes of the violin dying in your ears, nothing but darkness and silence punctuated by the dripping stalactites. Mother Nature still at work. Nothing changed, just our perception. And that's when my self left. It just wasn't important anymore. I became nothing but a little drop of water, one of the millions that will add 1 cubic millimeter every 10 years to nature's artwork. Yes, it was horrifying, but also completely liberating. This is my cavern, and I still carry it on the inside. I don't think it has anything to do with emotional disconnectedness or deliberately emotionally distancing myself from the others. In that cave, Tartini's music was a connection on many levels, to the composer, to the violinist, to the cave and what was in it, to nature, to one's own senses, to the perceptions of others. To me, aloneness is merely acceptance of my ownness in its entirety. Me standing alone is not me being disconnected. I am just a speck of stardust along zillions of other specks of stardust, nothing more, nothing less. It is an acceptance of my own uniqueness without expectations and with very little attachment or reliance. In other words, acceptance of everything being finite. What is here today may be gone tomorrow or later, it doesn't matter, including myself, of course. A hug with my daughter or my son, every hug with my children means the entire world to me. A kindly spoken word, a smile, tears my own or those of others, a song, a flower. In that second or minute or hour of its existence, it becomes my whole world. The acceptance that no one owes me anything, no love, no affection, no respect, no kindness, no commitment, no loyalty, no justice. But when it's there, when it's offered, I welcome it without hesitation, without second guessing, without distrust, and I embrace it. And when it's gone, I accept it because I know that in the end I do stand alone. Allowing things to come and allowing things to go. Enjoying time with them while it lasts. That to me is freedom of accepting aloneness. The proverbial chasm may be lack of understanding, comprehending this by others. I found this frustrating at first, but now, really, why should they understand? They have a right not to. We can still wave to each other across that chasm. So ironically, I am perhaps more connected than those living in clusters. My acceptance of standing alone comes from 20 years of feeling utterly lonely, which is a completely different state of mind and not a nice place to be at all. It was a long journey, often dark, but it was necessary. Actually, when I'm just remembering now, thinking of it again, I might have shared the aloneness already. I hope that didn't bore you to death. But all I wanted to say is that if this world goes too crazy and I feel I can't relate to anything anymore and not many things make any sense, starting from politicians and their decisions and their laws and rules and whatever they're heaping upon us globally, down to just people's perceptions, which everybody has got a right to have some kind of perception as long as it's not just an illusion, down to anything really. I go to my horses, I go to my herd that grazes peacefully and grounds me again, helps me to ground myself actually. I go and say hello to Malika, my unicorn, who always has that power to return me back to my to the ground. And I say hello when I see that little bumblebee. Good morning, bumblebee. How was your night? I see you have been safe and you are bumbling along again in your yellow golden flowers that you love so much. And hello, good morning, little tree. You are still enveloped by the most beautiful flowers that you have, that you produced. You are one brave little tree, and I love you so. And hello, cows. You came again. You were at the gate, waiting for us to open the gate for you, and you blessing us with your presence for a while. And so it goes on. I say hello to the roses. I say hello to Willy Wagtail. I greet the butcher bird that usually sings beautiful songs, lovely melodies. And yeah, although alone, I'm not lonely. And I wish the same thing to all of you, that even if we stand alone, that we are not lonely, that we are connected to every single little creature, little being around us, from the smallest ones to the largest ones, and that we feel that connection, and we are part of a much, much, much bigger universal mind. Blessings to you all.